Hey guys, more videos for everybody. This time stabby things, plastic ones this time because we're playing with our friends. And so I wanted to show you something that's not basic, right? Glasses. Not basic. Okay, just keep that in mind, right? Hi, assistant. There's, I talked about your different grips, blade out, blade in, blade up, blade out, all those things. Don't concern yourself too much with that. Just what we're working with today is ice pick grip with the edge out, right? Always get a dagger, get a double-edged weapon so you don't have to worry about this shit. But for this, we're going to work from here, all right? What we started by doing was starting out in an extended range where we have someone like blasting in to do this kind of thing, right? So, and then it ended up getting a couple tangles, right? And the different tangles led to a couple drills that I've been wanting to work with. And these actually do happen at closer ranges with real tight movements as well. So the first one here is, turn this way, that might help, right? Is when you end up crossed, okay? So it's like when you see the guys starting the kung fu movies and they've got their hands here and then who can, slap and smack each other faster, the old Enter the Dragon thing. It's when we move and we both happen to throw the same strike, right? These get crisscrossed, okay? Now again, if you have this right here, it's going to cut them up a little bit, but for this to function the way that we're going to work with it, that's where we're going to go to here, all right? So once we connect, I have an immediate reaction, okay? My immediate reaction is my spare hand comes to the knuckles, this hand and my body weight drop, okay? I want his head to come down, right? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my blade to his bicep, right? Now, here's the fun part. I don't have to worry about this happening to me when I do this to him because I controlled the knuckles to the outside, or more to my inside, to his outside, right? So when I run that line, I pull down and capture, I run this right to his bicep, right? As soon as I get that to there, I'm gonna dig it and turn downward. Like even with the plastic knife, this sucks, right? So when I'm here, now I've got good control over this. I keep this pinned to my arm, right? It feels scary because you've got a knife really close to you, but just having this covered is enough to keep him from pushing in. And if he pushes in, he's pushing his bicep against my knife even more. So what's he going to sacrifice, basically? So once I get here, right, immediate reaction, get to this, then I can cut and go to the outside, right? I'm still maintaining this control right here, right? That way, when I move, I can pull him to me, right? I can start doing things where I manipulate his whole body and turn this over and keep this trapped. Now I'm far outside and I'm in a safe spot to pass an attack, right? So I go bang, hooks, boom, I'm going down, in, right? See, my arm's safe, right? This passes, then I can pull, or I can just keep this to the outside and come to here, right? I'm in a good spot. Now, my knife's a little trapped. I don't care. His is way more trapped than mine is because my next motion is going to be to let go and shield that and hit here, right? Now, you're hitting their back. This is one of those things where they still have a deadly weapon in their hand and, you might hit this thing. That's an off button. Be prepared for your legal fees, right? All the other stuff, okay? So I'll do that one more time. Bang, bang, rip through, tear, right? I can also straighten his arm out. I can kind of go to the inside, but I don't prefer it, right? Going to here, because then I lose track of the knife and bad things happen, right? Not a big fan of the inside. Boom,
boom, boom, outside, right? I'm going to end up all the way through, pass as I go. All right, let me do that one again real quick so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Bang, 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 right? Cut, spare hand, passes. Okay. So that one gives me a chance to kind of get out and do this, right? Where you use your fending hand, you control, not control, monitor, do all that kind of stuff, right? Because now I've got this pressure in and I'm trying to rip, right? I would say a couple shots of bump and run would be my, because he's still got that in his hand, right? I'm not really disarming him, okay? So other option that we kind of came up with, right? I bang this to the inside, bang, and then I come down, right? But this time I'm going to go around the other way, right? So I'm turning it this way, right? So when you hit this, your immediate reaction should be that, hook and turn. You're going to feed it to this hand, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, that was really hard. Right, I'm going to feed it to this hand, okay? Once I get to here, as long as I have good control, like you guys will recognize this if you've done some like chin gnaw or wrist lock stuff, it's this thing, right? It's that kind of wrist lock where you plane their wrist and it goes that direction. It's the same kind of mechanic, right? Bang, turn, and feed that to right there, right? Once I've got a good grip or whatever, then I'm just going to run all the way up his arm to his neck and pass that as I go, right? No, it's hard to see from that side, but right to here, right? Sorry. I slide through as I'm passing that, right? You can slide through, or you can do that more gently. You can go to here and hook, right? When you get over top, hook it and drag across, right? Turn to here, then come cut, and then pass to this side, right? He's in such a shit position, I'm not worried about him doing a whole lot to me, right? Even if he lets that go, if I let that go, I'm using that hook to do something bad, right? So to do these things, you have to have a certain level of skill and a knowledge of like the actual movements of what you're doing, right? This isn't just like a little hoobah drill, right? This is timing. This is kind of real. It's not a little bit martial arts and craftsy, because it is, but at the same time, the things inside of it are what function at a fast-paced, realistic level, right? What happens if he's got his knife out and I've got my knife? What happens a lot? Bang, right? Whoever wins that hook first is the one that wins the next few seconds, right? And if I'm not prepared to turn that right down to my hand and do something with it, I mean, that's not rocket surgery. It's not even human surgery. It's just butchery, raw butchery. But it's not as flowery as it looks. There's a real
Tactile sense to it too.
yeah,
You feel it as you get it.
right. You have to learn the feel of these things a lot of times, right? You got to know when you make contact to immediately drop that, right? And you're only going to get that from doing this nice and slow as a drill, right? Where we're not trying to murder each other. So when the point comes that some guy takes a big chop at me, that's my automatic reaction, right? Or the other one, or the trappy thing, right? Right? So don't take a huge shit on martial arts and things like that, because inside of a lot of the stuff that's, you know, the hubuds and like, oh, drill, bup, what are we learning? Oh, a dead pattern. Yeah, we're learning a dead pattern, but why? Because that's in there, right? And it's fairly simple, it's fairly realistic, but it's not something you're going to pick up in a weekend. It's not something you're going to pull out of your ass, right? So, like I said, that's a little more complex. It's simple, but there's some complexity to it in that this isn't day one stuff, right? I can teach you how to do a hubud in like a day, right? Maybe 2, and you'll get proficient at it. But working from there, whole different story, right? So learn to make use of all those drills and all those things. That's where reality meets the dojo, right? So appreciate it. Thanks, Evan. Hi, Evan. That's Evan.
I die many a time.
We die in practice a lot. You know, they say sweat in practice. More sweat in practice means bleeding less in battle. We just die a lot on purpose, just so we die less if we actually run into real trouble. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.